is one of the most anticipated games in the history of the San Diego section. It's only week number 5 here in San Diego, and already we feature number 1 ranked Oceanside against 2nd ranked Mission Hills. Comes to you tonight from Jack Ashby Field here on the campus of Mission Hills High School in San Marcos. Well, hi, everybody. Steve Puss alongside JT Rogan. Thanks for making us part of your day here on Time Warner Cable Sports. And what a ball game we have here for you tonight. You can feel the electricity, the excitement in the air. Number 1 ranked Oceanside is 3-1, and JT, a lot of weapons on offense. They average almost 46 points per game, led by San Jose State-bound Ty Cottrell.
Well, you talk about electricity. That's Ty Cottrell. He is electric. He's an outstanding player. You always see him all over the field. They'll get him in the slot. They'll get him out of the backfield. He makes their offense go. Just a terrific player, terrific talent. San Jose State bound. Look forward to seeing big things from him tonight.
Now on the home sideline, this should be a pretty special night for this kid, Connor Wynn, because a couple of years ago at Oceanside High School, his brother Jordan, who went on to play at Utah, actually led the Pirates to a state championship.
Exactly, and so you know that there's talent in that family lineage. That Wynn name carries a lot of weight around San Diego, and so Connor trying to fulfill his destiny, trying to live up to his big brother's, his path. And so now it's going to be a great atmosphere, great environment, great chance for him to succeed tonight.
Yeah, certainly. It's SRO here tonight. That would be standing room only. Jack Ashby Field in San Marcos. Number 1 versus number 2 in the San Diego section. It's the Mission Hills Grizzlies at 4-0 against the top-ranked team, the Oceanside Pirates. We kick it off from San Marcos next.
This is your school. This is your school on TV. This is the website. This is where you vote on the website to get your school on TV. Time Warner Cable is giving you the chance to select which CIF football matchup will be our game of the week. Go to SoCal101TV.com now to cast your vote. You choose, you vote, you win. Only on Time Warner Cable.
Enjoy movies better with Time Warner Cable Movies on Demand. Get instant access.
I hope to see you fitted with a husband.
I'd rather hear my dog bark than a man swear he loves me.
To the hottest movies.
Let's dance.
And brightest stars.
In our next presidential election, I may vote Democrat.
Oh, no.
Watch these movies now.
I just want to experience worldly pleasures for the first time.
Have anything in mind?
Your basic abomination.
Whatever you're passionate about, we invent better ways to share it, get lost in it, and love it even more. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Well, I don't know how you can get any better than this in San Diego County. You have number 1 versus number 2 here in the county. It is top-ranked Oceanside at 3-1 against the 2nd-ranked and unbeaten Mission Hills Grizzlies. On their home field here, they're a perfect 4-0. As you see the captains for Oceanside and Mission Hills coming to the center for the coin toss. Let's welcome in the 3rd member of our team, Allie Sturm. Allie?
Thanks, guys. An interesting fact on tonight's game, and something many of our viewers may not know, is that Mission Hills All-Star QB Connor Wynn actually attended Oceanside his freshman year. And when I caught up with Coach John Carroll before the game, he said, I know Connor well. I've watched him grow up. We just need to be ready for his excessive speed and aptitude in this game. Connor currently is 32 of 62 passing for 499 yards with 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception. So Mission Hills and Connor have definitely proven themselves thus far. But do they have what it takes to gain that W tonight against the legacy that is Coach John Carroll and Oceanside? Guys, this atmosphere is incredible, and I'm just ready to watch this rivalry unfold. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Allie. Nice job. And I'll tell you what, she has the best seat in the house. Does she not here tonight, JT Rogan? Because, as mentioned, it's standing room only. I know she'll be standing down there, right, where the guys are buckling up those chin straps and getting ready to go to war.
How much you pay for that 50-yard line seat right there, huh? It's prime real estate.
Well, Mission Hills won the coin toss and have deferred to the second half, and it's kind of a little bit of a surprise, but Oceanside's going to receive the football first. I would think if you're Mission Hills, you want to keep the football away from Oceanside as much as you can here in this game.
You know, pick your poison with Oceanside. They've got a great offense, a great defense, one of the best teams in the county, and so, you know, that might just be a habit. You know, they defer all kickoffs, and that's what it is.
So as we mentioned, Oceanside will get the football first, and let's take a look at their starting lineup for this Week 5 game here. Andres Gonzalez is outstanding. A late scratch right there. Look at the left guard spot. Anthony Pineda, he will not be going. A late scratch prior to the ball game. Had an ankle injury 2 games ago against Temecula Chaparral and just can't go here tonight in the 1 versus 2 matchup. And Matthew Romero is making his 5th consecutive start for the Pirates. Mission Hills Grizzlies defensively, and they're pretty good. There's a lot of guys here with Division I potential. Fred Warner being one guy. A lot of guys that can get right after a guy like Matthew Romero and those 4 Division I signees for Oceanside. And while we have a moment, let's look at JT Rogan's keys to this game as we feature 1 versus 2 here tonight.
Well, it's really going to be simple. Just going to, if you're Oceanside, you got to dominate the trenches. You've got skill players, obviously, but it's not going to be worth a darn if you can't get the ball to him. So you got to protect your passer, and then you got to get after Connor Wynn, because if you give him time, he's just going to pick you apart. And if you're Mission Hills, keep the crowd into it. Keep the game tight, keep it close, keep the atmosphere electric. Just keep all that positive momentum that's behind the program. Keep it moving forward. You're undefeated. Give them reason to keep coming back and stay in it. It's a blackout. All the students here wearing black shirts. We've talked about the atmosphere ad nauseum. Looking forward to seeing what they can do with this crowd. Outstanding game, ready for kickoff.
You could have charged $50 and got it to park here tonight. We are underway. And Oceanside going to get the football first, and that is going to be a touchback. Jace Whitaker, who's headed to Arizona, won't get a chance at a return here. And Matthew Romero, the starting quarterback, as you take a look at this young junior here for John Carroll and his team, will be making his 5th consecutive start.
Exactly, and Coach Carroll has talked about Matthew Romero knowing the offense, being capable, changing the play at the line of scrimmage, doing all the things he wants his quarterback to do. So not only is his quarterback a game manager, he's also an excellent leader and a talented passer, really the guy for the Oceanside offense.
Works out of the shotgun and throws the first pass of the game to Ty Cottrell, and after the catch there, his first touch of the ball game, Fred Warner all over him, and a short little gain there for an explosive offense that averages 45.5 points per game.
Well, that's just a scholarship athlete on a scholarship athlete, and so Fred Warner, looking at Nebraska, USC, maybe I saw a Nebraska coach here tonight, so just adding to the atmosphere right there. Warner comes up, makes a good play. It's just good, solid football. That time, Mission Hills got the victory on that individual play.
2nd down and long. Romero. And he'll get it to the 20-yard line and then get taken down. That is Josh Zavedo Cavalin Barella with the stop there.
Say that 3 times slowly, Steve.
No thanks.
Yeah. Just forcing pressure, getting to the quarterback. We talked about Oceanside needing to dominate the trenches early on. Doesn't look like they're doing that thus far. But tip your cap to Mission Hills. They came out with a defensive game plan, and maybe this is part of the reason they wanted to defer and kick off in the first half.
Matthew Romero looking at a big 3rd down now as a team. Oceanside converting 46% for the season. Romero, who established himself as the #1 quarterback here through the first 4 weeks, has to make a big play here to keep the drive going. And pressure coming from the outside, and he'll fling it incomplete. And a punt. That is a great defensive stand for the 2nd-ranked Grizzlies.
And a great defensive stand against a great offense. So they're going to draw energy from that. Like you said, outstanding effort and work on this whole series. And so you see in hot pursuit right there, Zavedo Barella, the Mr. Name right there, able to pressure the quarterback, number 42, Zach Harbin, good in coverage right there, and that's just good, clean football. That's what Mission Hills wants. That's what they've been about, and Coach Hauser talked about it. If they want to win this game, they got to keep the scoring low, and defensive effort like that, you're off to a good start.
Yeah, before the ball game, Coach Hauser said this is a name you need to practice, and it's not just Zavadeo Barella. You got to work in all 4 names. Josh Zavadeo Cavalin Barella, his dad Native American. And so that's why he has that outstanding name there. And Coach Hauser said he's going to take a lot of going to be after the quarterback here the entire time.
Well, he's done a good job thus far. And so, I'm looking at the roster here. It looks like a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if they've got enough room to sandwich those 4 names into one column there. So I can see why they pared it down a little bit.
After the penalty, cost Oceanside 5 more yards. This is Scott Higgins, who's back deep to receive. He signals fair catch. And terrific starting field position for the Grizzlies at the 42-yard line going in. Let's take a look at the offensive starting lineup for Mission Hills. And there has been a late change for them at running back. Anthony Bautista also. He was questionable with an ankle injury this week. He will not be playing. So you're going to see a lot of other guys like Cameron Coleman and Cameron Katine and Ricky Luchin, along with Cannon Terrell. It'll be running back by committee here behind Connor Wynn.
And defensively for the Pirates, we always get a kick out of watching Tommy Wu.
That's my guy.
He is all over opposing quarterbacks. And Elijah Holder there, number 24, is actually headed next year to play at Stanford. He's one of the best cornerbacks, not only in the state of California, but in the country, JT.
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to see him in action, and he's every bit the talent that Stanford anticipates on receiving. Great footwork, great ball skills, everything you want from a cornerback there. And so just to kind of recap the first drive, obviously not much for Oceanside, but Coach Hauser talked about needing to change the field position. He's not concerned with getting these huge plays and these big, long, sustained drives. He just wants to change the field position, perhaps give their kicking game a chance to generate points. He knows he needs to keep the game total low because he doesn't want to get into a shootout with Oceanside. And so right now, starting with the ball in Oceanside field position, you're in pretty good shape to start your first offensive drive.
A little bit of a delay here. Fred Warner was injured on the punt, slow to get up. Talked about him being looked at by Nebraska and USC as you look at John Carroll in year 24 on the Oceanside sideline. But we hope Warner can continue because they can ill afford to have another injury. They have two big offensive linemen out from the beginning of the year. Also, they're starting tailback out. And they'll start on the ground. And that's going to be a 2-yard run there for Mission Hills. And the first carry of the game goes to Ricky Luchin, a two-way starter.
And Luchin has really endeared himself to Coach Hauser. He does everything right, tries hard, great effort. And so right there he gets the first carry of the game and dominating the trenches. Oceanside maybe not able to do it on offense, but on defense right there you saw they were able to get penetration and really limit Luchin to a 1 to 2 yard gain there.
Connor Wynn was only in for 2.5 quarters last week in a big win over Valley Center, a shutout. Running right there and getting the carry is Esteban Centeno. And there's a penalty marker in the backfield. He's a two-way starter and also handles their punts and place kicks.
He's got quite a boot on him. I was watching him during pregame warm-ups and could really kick it. Looked like his distance reached upwards of 50 yards and kicked a touchback earlier on to start the game.
Dave Sibick is our referee. Signal a hold against Mission Hills. And that's going to back him up 10 yards. So after a great defensive stand for the second-ranked Grizzlies, and they get great field position as a result at the 42-yard line, now you back them up, and they're in their own territory here, looking at a second forever back at their own 45.
Well, and the hold is also a testament to, again, the defensive line's ability to create pressure and to get into the running lanes out there. And so they stretch the play laterally. Somebody grabbed a hold of some jersey. Oceanside couldn't wriggle free, but the referee saw it, and like you said, second and forever. That holding was in the backfield. Traditionally, it's a 10-yard penalty. This time it's more like 15.
First down make is the 32, and Wynn slings it sidearm, much like Phillip Rivers does. And the catch is made just shy of the 50-yard line on a big hit by Jace Whitaker.
Their whole secondary is all very capable in coverage and sure tacklers, so I'd be surprised to see any real big plays get behind them. But Coach Hauser talked about, they've got a couple plays. They've got some unorthodox stuff. They're going to pull out all the stops tonight to try and make sure they can move the ball. And right now the game's about field position. Third and forever, don't need to get risky with the ball.
Yeah, 3rd and 19, Wynn under pressure rolling out. And Wynn will take off and tiptoe out of bounds at the 45-yard line, bringing up about a 4th down and 14. He's been playing behind a makeshift line for much of the start of this season, missing 2 starting offensive linemen due to injury at the beginning of the year. Sam Rival is out, knee injury, and Austin Jessup, left shoulder, is out as well. As you take a look at the history of these two teams here, this is the 7th meeting. Mission Hills has only managed to tie, a 10-10 tie in 2011. That's been it. Other than that, it has been Oceanside winning 5 with a 1 tie, including winning a couple of games during the 2010 season. Once during the regular season by 20, and then in the Division II championship game at the Q, they put a hurting at Oceanside and Mission Hills by 37 points.
Familiarity breeding contempt there, absolutely. And so early on in the game, Mission Hill's able to bleed a little bit of clock, able to change the field position, doing all the things that maybe underdogs do when they're trying to stay around and stay in a game. And so right now, things probably in the favor of Mission Hills, able to have Oceanside backed up. Can't give up the big play, though.
1st and 10 back at the 12-yard line, and Jace Whitaker with a carry. And they're unable to establish the run game against Mission Hills early on.
Well, in Mission Hills, this has been a staple of their defense as long as they've been around. Coach Hauser has been here, it seems like, forever. He's the only coach that they've ever had at this program, and so that's what he teaches. He demands of his front seven that they're able to stop the run, and that's what makes things a little bit easier for them in the secondary. And so thus far, Oceanside not able to get anything going in the run game.
Talked about Romero establishing himself as the #1 quarterback. Remember the opener, we had that game against Saints. Split time with sophomore Dakota Miller. Miller just quarterbacked the JV team to a win in the game prior. They set up the screen, and the grab is made. That is Josh Bernard out of the backfield, and Bernard fires his way all the way up to the 44-yard line for a big first down, but we'll see our third penalty marker of the game, and it is a hold against Oceanside.
And perhaps slightly unrelated, Steve, I went to the Stanford Army game in upstate New York a couple weeks ago, and they didn't call a penalty until the second half. So two highly disciplined teams, two refined college programs, and then now tonight we got 3 early on, a lot of holding, and that's a testament to the play of the defensive line.
Repeat second down.
Going to be the second penalty of the game against the Pirates. They had one just prior to their punt. They had to punt from almost in the end zone, and now they'll be backed up here inside the 10-yard line, and it looks as if it's going to be at the 4-yard line now. Second down and about 18 from the 4-yard line for the Pirates.
Well, Steve, right now the first down count is 0, and the penalty count is 2-1 in favor and loss of Oceanside, however you want to look at it. So neither team able to get anything going early on.
This playing right into the hands of Mission Hills. This is the speedy Ty Cottrell, and he can't go anywhere. A gain of only a yard as Esteban Centeno came up and made the stop. That's a terrific play there by that young man.
And you think he's not fired up about tonight? Senior kicker, two-way player, got his bandana on underneath it. He's ready. He's ready to make these plays when they need him, able to get off the stock block out there on the perimeter. Centeno hot in pursuit, and to take down Ty Cottrell's no easy task. So 22 on 22 crime right there.
Mission Hills looks a lot quicker than I remember them ever being. Romero on a third down and long. The first down make is the 23. Getting flushed out of the pocket, throws downfield, and it's intercepted at the 35-yard line, and the ball comes loose. It was intended for Jace Whitaker. Ball is loose, and it will in fact be an interception for Mission Hills, and it's picked by Deshaun Holliday, a 6'2 junior.
Christmas come early for Holliday right there. A great interception. He was playing trail technique. He had faith in his ability to guard the deep ball. You see right there, able to come back to the ball. Just great coverage right there, and probably an ill-advised throw. Trying to roll out there, didn't maybe get enough on it. Let Jace Whitaker, your Arizona scholarship recipient, allow him maybe run under it. But Deshaun Holliday, a great play on the ball there, great ball skills, makes the interception. And Mission Hills, again, living right, getting the ball to start their drive in Oceanside field position for the second consecutive drive tonight.
Yeah, their first drive started at the 42, but was backed up to their own 45. This one starts at the 40-yard line. And Connor Wynn with a football for the second time in the football game. And they're going to have some trickery here as they hand it off. And it was Scott Higgins to throw, and it's incomplete as he throws into double coverage downfield for the top receiver for Mission Hills, Brad Sochowski.
Coach Hauser's exact words were, we did some stuff this week in practice that is unorthodox and unconventional, and we are prepared to use it. And so you see right there, it looked a lot like the fly sweep on the first play where they try and get to the perimeter, except Sochowski maybe with a little bit more of an arm, given an opportunity to throw down. One-on-one coverage, falls harmlessly to the ground, 2nd and 10 for Mission Hills.
I guess when you're 0-5-1 in your school history against Oceanside, you got to dig deep down into the playbook, and we have some early movement here. And 2 penalties per side.
Offense.
That false start will cost Mission Hills 5 yards. Second straight drive where they've backed it up, JT.
Yeah, it's that U-Haul truck in reverse right there. Beep, beep. You're hearing it right there. No good. You've got negative yardage on offense. Both teams really struggling to move the ball, and I don't know if that's a commentary on their offense or a testament to their defenses.
Win out of the shotgun now, and he's going to wind up handing it off. And with the football right now and running for a first down is Connor Wynn. He kept it, and Connor Wynn needed 15 yards and wound up getting 18 yards and a first down. Boy, he sold that to everybody in the house.
He did, and Alex Moran and Tommy Wu able to make the tackle. Tommy Wu, the opposite defensive end away from the play, hustling downfield to make the tackle. But Wynn familiar with that zone read game. You know, I'm sure he's been coached up by his brother and able to pull it. Everybody collapsed on the run game right there and win. You know, Coach Hauser's comfortable putting the game on his shoulders, and right there you see a big gain. And now, the first down of the game for an offense. Let's see if they can build on it. Certainly can't be going backwards because Centeno's distance is limited, and you got to get points out of this drive.
He held that in the belly of Centeno for quite a while there before picking up the first down on an 18-yard run, and another penalty marker here on a 1st down and 10 just outside the red zone.
Hey, game, offense.
Boy, so far the tempo, it feels like a week 1 game, not week 5. These teams should be a little bit more finely tuned than they have been here in the opening quarter.
Well, every coach that I've had talks about how you get so jacked up on emotion and there's so much anticipation for the game for both schools, and then you get to the game and maybe you come out flat or you've got some circumstances that don't go your way and everything just changes.
Win to throw to the near sideline, and it's incomplete. Overthrown, intended there for Zach Harbin. That's the first time Harbin has been targeted. Again, Mission Hills without Anthony Batista, their starting running back, and missing 2 starting offensive linemen due to injury that they thought they'd have at the beginning of the year that they still don't have back. Not as many weapons, just trying to go downfield to the likes of Harbin.
And so you've got to get creative. And when you talk about creativity, you got to talk about coaching. And so it's a coach's job to try and put Mission Hills in situations where they're at least able to have a chance. Right there, they're able to find a spot that was available for a reception, and the Oceanside defense were just unable to complete it.
2nd and 15 for Wynn. The pocket collapses, and he gets wrapped up and brought down back at the 35-yard line. And
you know who?
There? Tommy Wu.
You know who? Tommy Wu on the spot right there. Love his hair, getting longer and longer by the week. And you see, once you get in his clutches, hard to get out there. And certainly can't sleep on Josh Bernard either, the outstanding linebacker for Oceanside. Just 2 great players making a play there. Wynn unable to escape the pocket. And so, again, a drive going in reverse.
Mission Hills was like 4 yards from getting inside the Oceanside red zone for the first time, and they're all the way back at the 35-yard line now. A 3rd down and 18. The first down make is the 17-yard line of Oceanside. Wynn steps up. Wynn bouncing to the outside. Wynn trying to get to the original line of scrimmage. Another penalty marker as he's brought down just before getting out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
And I saw a flag from the back judge. It looked like it might have been a clipping or a legal block in the back there on the side that Connor Wynn was running to.
We have an injured Oceanside Pirate player down right in front of the Mission Hills bench.
And it looks like Elijah Holder, who very well might have been the clipped party. And so you see everybody collapsing and converging on Connor Wynn, but he keeps the play alive, and you see maybe the clip right there. Tough to say exactly what happened, but Samuel Pierce able to chase him out of bounds. And so that gets him in field position, but still waiting on the penalty. That might just keep this drive in reverse. And I talked about earlier, you just got to get points out of this drive, but instead they've been going backwards like they did earlier on in the game. And so right now looking like they might be forced to punt and try and do this thing all over again, pinning Oceanside deep in their own territory.
5:13 to go, opening quarter play. Both teams have possessed the football twice. There have been a number of penalties on both sides. And there have been an injured player, or has been an injured player on each side so far. And while we have a moment, we want to remind you tonight we're pleased to announce our Time Warner Cable Fans Choice winner for the October 11th midnight broadcast. The votes have been counted, and our October 11th TWC Fans Choice telecast will be Norco at Centennial Corona. Congratulations to the fans and the teams for the impressive amount of votes that secured this victory. Once again, our Time Warner Cable Fans Choice televised matchup for October the 11th will be Norco at Centennial Corona right here on Time Warner Cable. There's still time left to help select our remaining televised matchups for the fall season. It's easy, but you got to vote. Go to SoCal101TV.com. Vote for your favorite matchup. They are helping off the field Elijah Holder, who is Stanford bound. He is a first-team All-State defensive player, according to Cal High Sports. And he's limping off the field right there. After about an 8-yard gain there by Connor Wynn, it brings up 4th down and 10. And Mission Hills is going to try a field goal.
They must have picked up the flag, Steve. I saw it from the back judge, and looked like they decided to leave well enough alone.
This is Esteban Centeno, the senior kicker. He's going to try it here from 44 yards out, hash mark left outside of the uprights. And the kick is on its way, and it is good. Wow, what a booming kick by that kid right there. And Mission Hills scores first.
Plenty of leg there. Great to get on the board first for Mission Hills. And talked about keeping this crowd in it. Right now, a 3-0 lead is going to look pretty significant with the ineptitude of the Oceanside offense thus far. So a good start to the game for Mission Hills. Surely they would have liked a touchdown or kept that drive going in a positive direction, but all's well that ends well. Field goal there for Mission Hills and an early 3-0 lead.
He might have made that thing from 54 yards out. A lot of leg there by Centeno. A 44-yard field goal. And let's show you the ensuing celebration afterwards by the Mission Hills kids.
There he is.
That's cool. They may even run for 100 yards by the time it's all said and done. He gets the start in the backfield over Anthony Bautista, who couldn't go because of the ankle injury he sustained last week in a win over Valley Center. Three 0 Mission Hills, scoring on their second drive of the game. They've done a terrific job on defense, really pushing the Pirates back. And there is Jace Whitaker, who's back deep to receive this kick by Centeno. Oceanside #1 in San Diego, 3-1. Their only setback, a Week 2 loss to Sarah, 50-39, a game in which got away from them with about 3 minutes left. And Centeno with a second consecutive touchback here. And so the Pirates are going to start their third drive of the opening quarter at the 20-yard line.
And both of these teams have a little bit of familiarity with Sarah. Passing league during the summer, Mission Hills was able to compete against them, said they had all sorts of athletes. And then as far as the game went with Coach Carroll, obviously they were disappointed with the loss, and it took them a couple days to get beyond it. But they said that they really learned a lot from it. They knew they could hang with them, and Coach Carroll thinks that they're going to be better for it at the end of the season.
Matthew Romero just threw his first pick of the season on the last drive. And early movement and another penalty. And I'll tell you what, Oceanside, I have not seen them this out of sync since week #1 against St. Augustine.
And even then, that was primarily in the second half where they were having problems. So lack of discipline and penalties and all the like is very uncharacteristic of a Coach Carroll coach squad. So I'm sure he's going to be letting them hear about it at halftime in terms of at least squandered yardage, if not squandered opportunities.
Yeah, that third quarter against Saints in the opener. Now, again, it was the opener, so we preface it by saying that. That was the worst quarter I think Oceanside's ever had. Here's Whitaker on the pitch sweep left. And he's got about 3 yards against a very fast defense that pitched a shutout last week against Valley Center.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, matter of fact, 2 shutouts already for Mission Hills on the season.
Yeah, exactly. And so, we've seen that defensive intensity tonight, and they're bringing it. No question. Really getting to the perimeter out there. And a good play design by Coach Carroll to get some of that yardage back, a 6-yard gain on 1st and 15. So now the Mission Hills defense got to keep finding ways to get yardage against them.
Bernard with a pitch left. And Bernard fighting his way forward for about a yard before he's out of bounds. They're going to look at another 3rd down and long.
And so what you saw the play before was a little bit more room to run for a faster player right there. They give the ball to Bernard, perhaps a slower runner into the short side of the field, kind of condenses the running area, and that Mission Hills defense was able to close on it quickly, really limit the game. And so now 3rd and 8, and still waiting on Matthew Romero to kind of get in sync, find his rhythm a little bit. This Mission Hills defense is giving them all they can handle early on.
Grizzlies defense pitched a shutout in the Brothers in Arms opener against Phoenix Desert Vista 13-0, and did so last week against Valley Center. 2 weeks ago, they gave up just 7 points against Bonita Vista. That was nearly picked off as they try and set up yet another screen pass.
Well, Coach Carroll's talked about the quarterback situation. He said Matthew Romero's their guy. Said Dakota Miller still needs to play. And then Joshua Harris from Helix saw a little bit of time last week. So you've got other options at quarterback should Matthew Romero continue to struggle. It'll be interesting to see that if Oceanside continues to have difficulty moving the ball on offense and Matthew Romero continues having questionable decision-making, if he's able to stay in there at the starting quarterback position.
That was Eric Duenas, who knocked that pass down, batted it down, and interrupted the screen pass, forcing yet another punt, the second of the night for Oceanside. So 2 punts and a turnover, and returnable here. And to the 40-yard line there is Higgins, Scott Higgins with a return, and there's another penalty marker. An all too common theme here in the opening quarter of 1 versus 2. And that's going to be a block in the back against Mission Hills, and the starting field position will be their worst so far the ball game.
And you see right there Troy Warner just running down with his hand on the back of an Oceanside tackler. Not able to do that. That is obviously a penalty and another negative play effectively for the Mission Hills offense. I mean, now both teams are getting penalized obviously, but Mission Hills really got to feel like if their goal was to change field position and to be effective with moving the ball and trying to be, just the philosophy really sticking